Today I'm going to be trying something that I haven't tried before. What you see before you is the phone that I normally use as a camera for recording videos on this channel. I'm currently using a different phone, but this one has a slight problem. As you can see, the battery has swollen and is starting to separate the back case from the phone. As you can also see, the back case is made from glass. And as that bald guy says, glass is glass and glass breaks. So that's kind of what's going on here. I have never, as I said, replaced a battery on a phone that wasn't intended to have it replaced. So I placed a quick emergency order from eBay and it showed up. I was expecting this to show up in a mailbag, but it came packaged very anonymously and I did not recognize it as something for a mailbag. So here we go. There's the battery as it came from wherever I ordered it from, somewhere in Canada. They use Canadian stamps. And there is the replacement battery. It is new old stock, which is a little concerning. It was made in 2022, but then again, so was the phone. And hopefully it is the correct battery. It says it's an S8 battery there, and this is a Samsung S8, so maybe we'll just leave that. Actually, no, I'm going to pop it out of the package right now and just see if there is any kind of a storage voltage. Oh, maybe I'm not going to measure that, because that looks like an odd little connector that I don't think I can get my voltmeter onto, and I don't see any exposed copper anywhere. Okay, well, we'll just trust that it works then, I guess, and we'll get on with the task of finishing taking this thing apart. Task that it has, like I said, already begun. I got this toolkit a couple of years ago when Kai Wheats remembered who I was and was actually sending me stuff, and it came with some of these guitar pick things and a suction cup and a little plastic spudger, which I think is relevant to the task at hand here. So we'll see if just working these around through the existing crack will finish opening it up, or if I have to get a little bit more medieval on it. I've heard that normally repair shops will use a heat gun or a heat pad or something like that when they're trying to open up a phone. I suppose I could do that, but since this one is already, in the process of self-disassembling just due to the battery expanding, I don't really want to use heat, because that's probably bad for what's left of the battery. And B, as I said, it's already in the process of self-disassembling, so maybe I don't need it. I'm not sure where all the sticky stuff is inside one of these things, so we'll just go with it. I know I could look up a repair guide online, and if I get stumped, I may do that anyway, but for now, I just want to use my usual method of barging forward and seeing what happens. And that seems to have worked. Gonna have to figure out what to do about the adhesive later. I'm gonna guess that I'll have to clean that off and use some kind of double-sided tape or something to stick it back on, but that's a future issue. So now we can see the bulgy battery there with this over top of it, which I'm assuming is the NFC charging coil. And it looks like it is stuck to this plastic thing here, so itty bitty screwdriver time, I guess. I have lots of bits, but since I've got that Kai Wheats kit out, I might as well use it. And actually, in that kit, there is this little magnetic screw holder. So I think maybe I will use it. This is not a review of the kit. It's not even sponsored. I am just using these tools because I happen to have them convenient here. Oh wait, maybe that's just adhesive down. Could I just peel that up? Maybe? Or is it attached to anything else? Oh, it looks like it's diving underneath this stuff here. I don't really want to remove the camera and stuff, but I might have to. Okay. So the camera and the little flashlight guy seem to just lift up. Is that on a connector there? How does that work? Can I get under that? Oh, there we go. So that is the flashlight and camera flash. Let's park that over there. And looking underneath here, I think that is the power wire or the power flat flex coming off the battery. So I do think I have to take this little piece of plastic off, which has got all this other stuff on it. So I'll continue yanking those screws out, and I guess we'll get back to you when I've got them out, because I don't think there's anything more exciting. If there is, I'll stop back in. And with all those screws out, I think I can just pry that plastic piece up. Oh, there we go. Does it have any connectors under it? No, just goop. Oh, so this that NFC coil or charging coil connects through these pads here. So those pads connect to the board through these little spring-loaded pins here. But more importantly, we have access to the ribbon cable for the battery. And I think we can just pop that guy off like that. Now the battery is not connected to the board, but it is still very much stuck in there. Well, not stuck very well. I'm trying to be gentle with this battery because it is swollen, and swollen batteries are an explosion hazard. There we have the two batteries side by side, the new old stock and the spicy pillow. 2018 is the one coming out and 2022 is the one going in. So hopefully this should be happy. Now then, we'll just reverse the procedure here. Is there some adhesive down in there? No, most of it stayed with the old battery. Now, I do have some double-sided tape. I've got a couple of different kinds. This is a very thin one, and I think that is the one that I will use for this. It's wider than what was on there, but I think for this anyway, it will do the job. I'll just stick some down into there, and I hope that will suffice. I'm not using this phone as my daily anymore. I haven't for a number of years, so I think having it not quite as mechanically robust isn't going to hurt anything. Peel that out of the way, drop that guy in there, and then work that connector down onto its home. Hopefully it lines up properly. I don't know what these little connectors are called. Jerry Rig Everything calls them Lego style connectors. I don't think that's the proper term, but we'll go with it for now. And I think I should reinstall the bits that plug into things before I give it a power test. I think that would be a reasonable course of action. How was that attached in there? I think it went in like that and then sits down onto well, there we go. Click, click. Now that's in place. I'll put a few screws back in, and then I'll replace the little light thing. I don't think I'll put all the screws in immediately, but I will put in the ones that are in the general vicinity of where those spring-loaded connectors are, just so that that's connected. I don't know if the phone will complain about things not being attached or not. I'm assuming if it was some sort of a fruit branded phone, it would probably complain about the battery serial number not matching, but that is not a concern here. This is an ancient Samsung phone. Okay, I think that's enough of those. Now put this little light dude back in. And again, the connector is the hard part, although that worked surprisingly well. Okay, that is, I think, everything that we need to see if it'll turn on. Of course, that also assumes that the battery is at least partially charged, which doesn't seem to be a safe assumption. Let's plug a charger into it and see if it does anything. Oh yeah, it's taking a charge. And the phone is aware that it's taking a charge. Okay. So that is coming in at, what do we got there? 580 milliamps, half an amp. And this is just a straight 5-volt source. Wonder if I can fast charge this. Now this is now plugged into a Samsung branded fast charger, so theoretically, if this thing wants to fast charge, okay, there's a little bit higher current charger. It's taking an amp and a half now. So let's see if it wants to wake up. Yes, yes it does. Cool. Alrighty then. So I think now that we know that it's going to charge and going to power on, I think we will start reassembling the mechanics of it again, and then I'll plug the charger in after the video is done. So we've got the rest of these screws to put on. We've got the lens cover to put on. Let's do that right now. How did that come off? It came off that way, I think. And I hope that the adhesive that's on the back of it, or the front of it, still works. Now this is probably pretty basic for a lot of you guys. Anybody who's done any phone repair in the past is probably screaming at their screen and calling me an idiot, which is fine, because like I said at the beginning, I've never done a phone repair before. The last time I replaced the battery in a phone was probably a Motorola flip phone, back when, you know, manufacturers encouraged you to swap batteries on a regular basis. And there is the last of the screws. So now I think I will use a bit of isopropyl to clean up the old adhesive, the old tape from this thing. I tried scraping it up a little bit and it didn't want to come up like that. So maybe just a bit of chemical warfare will help me get that old adhesive off. And because I don't think I want to put tape on top of tape. I think that'll just get too physically thick. So I will burn a bunch of time doing this, and then I'll get back to you with whatever my next step is when I figure out what that'll be. Well, that took a fair bit of time and some cleaning cloths and swabs and a fair bit of isopropyl alcohol, but I think I've got it relatively clean so that it should go back together. I just don't know if I want to use a bit of tape or if I want to just hold it together with the case until I can get a new back. I don't even know if I need a new back because that case holds it fairly firmly. Maybe I will just use a little bit of this tape. I think I will slit it lengthwise to make it a little bit skinnier. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we'll give it a try. In order to slice this into some narrow strips, I've just laid down some Kapton and then stuck my double-sided tape to it. And then I'll just use the X-Acto knife. Is this the right way to do it? Probably not. But it's what I'm doing, and we'll see if it works. Will that just lay in there nice and gently? It's an aluminum case, or at least the wraparound is aluminum on this phone, so I've got a nice ledge to put it onto. I think this might actually work. There's the backing off the tape. So now, let's see if this will hold in place. I don't know if it's going to be perfect, but at least it's not bulgy. And I think I can live with that crack because, as I said, this phone lives in its armor. So now then, I will just give it a charge and power it up, and we'll see how it works. Not quite sure how long this will take, but I will get back to you when it's mostly charged, or at least charged enough to run on its own. Okay, let's see where our charge is at. Yeah, that will do nicely. Still charging at about an amp, but I think we'll see if it'll wake up on its internal battery. Seems to want to. I'll just let it go through its boot cycle and we'll take a look at the stats. Okay, it doesn't seem to have any problem with the battery. That's good. The flashlight still works. That's good. And the camera still works. I think we have ourselves a winner here. So, for my first time ever replacing a phone battery that wasn't intended to be user replaceable, I think I've done adequately well. Now then, for this spicy pillow, I am going to find a recycling bin that takes batteries and drop it in there and then run. Well, I hope you found that interesting or informative, or at least not too frustrating if you actually do this for a living. Questions and comments down below. Please be gentle. As I said, it was my first time. I'll talk to you later.